Hi, I'm Adam. If you don't know me, here I am. I'm president of Discount Credit Card Supply, DCC Supply, and today we are going to have a presentation by Jimmy Shin at Equinox. And so Equinox, we just became a direct distributor for Equinox, so super excited to promote their product. You've seen them around over many years, and very interesting from my viewpoint, very interesting products in that they are uh, sleek. They have multiple components that each work with each other, so it's really interesting and easy to use. Great back-end systems. So if you're using other devices, they have back-end systems. So very similar to that, and historically, Equinox has worked in the large enterprise environment. And the reason that they're here today, frankly, is to work in the SBA market. Small, medium-sized businesses love to still talk about the large customers for sure. But, and so if you have an opportunity, reach out to us. We'll work with them and work on the tech solution. We'll build the files and all the coding and everything like that to get them up and running. So I'm going to hand this off to Jimmy, let him go through it. Then I will present a couple products that we have accessories-wise to that. And then I have a little video to share with you as well. And then we can discuss a little bit on that, just on a sales side, something I end up all these calls with. So thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy it.
All right, thanks, Adam. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think this relationship has been a long time in the making. Caught the attention of Equinox. DCCSupply has definitely been making waves, and we're very happy to have this this new relationship going forward. So let me just share my screen here. All right, can everybody see?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so my name's Jimmy. I am a director of sales here at Equinox. I manage most of our ISV ISO relationships. I am personally, I come from the ISO world. About 20 years ago, I got my first start as an inside sales rep, and kind of worked my way up the chain, and have been kind of doing payments ever since. Here I am now. I'm about 2 years in Equinox, and I'm hawking terminals now. So hopefully some of this stuff will be educational for you, and it will enlighten you and open your eyes to some of our products. So we'll keep this pretty short and sweet today. We're going to do a quick introduction about about myself, which we've already done, and then of course about Equinox, and then I'll take you through our terminals and software and technology, and then open up for questions. So Equinox is a partner-focused and customer-driven company. Our experience across retail, restaurant, and hospitality segments enables us to collaborate with partners and clients to help them solve complex problems and meet the evolving changes of processing payments. Now, we are first and foremost, of course, a hardware manufacturer. We design, engineer some of the sleekest products around, like Adam said. We are also a software developer. We work on all of the software that resides on the terminal, including the OS that sits on the terminal, as well as the payments application that goes along with the terminal. That's usually used in semi-integrated and standalone applications. That being said, we'd like to think of ourselves first and foremost, though, as a solutions provider. I think with payments, there's always problems. Every merchant has a problem that they need to solve, and we're here to help them solve it, at least in terms of the hardware that they're using. Our mission is to forge.
They figured it out. We're not saying anything.
Our mission is to forge long-term, mutually successful partnerships We listen and build relationships where we assist our partners to excel in the direction of choice and deliver value for the channel partners and customers. What this really means for you is that we really stand behind our products. We want to see you guys succeed. We want to see you provide solutions to your merchants that are above and beyond what other merchants are seeing. So we want to give you a competitive edge, and we're dedicated to making that happen. The one thing that you'll find that makes us, particularly special, I think, in our space is that we only have a couple products. Really, when it all comes down to it, we have 2 products on the market right now. It's the Luxe 8500 and the Luxe 6200. With that, it gets simplified even more in that if you learn one product, you learn all of the products. We have one terminal family, one software platform, one EMV kernel. We have one PCI standard and one payment application.
I'm gonna mute my computer. I muted mine.
So basically, again, it's really one. If you learn one terminal, you learn the both, because the inner workings are exactly the same. The only difference that sticks out really is that because one has a 2.5-inch screen and the other one has a 5-inch screen, when you're dropping in offers or logos or anything like that.
Sorry about that, Jimmy. You should be okay now.
Am I okay now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sorry.
I don't know where I got muted there, but I think I went over this slide. Again, it's I was finishing up. The one difference between our terminals is that one has a 2.5-inch screen, one has a 5-inch screen. So that is really the only difference when you're loading in logos or offers or any marketing things, gift card stuff. You just have to make sure that the size requirement for those images are correct. But other than that, everything is exactly the same. It makes it really simple to deploy. It makes it really easy to manage and support because you're working with one overall system. Luxe delivers a consistent customer experience wherever payment happens. What we're talking about is we like to make sure that all the bases are covered in a card-present environment, whether it's at a fixed checkout counter, at tables and aisles, in drive-throughs and curbside, in specialty and pop-ups, and outside and on the road. And I'll kind of, as we go through, I'll kind of describe how we do that. Our customer engagement platform is unique. We have customer engagement and loyalty member identification, loyalty program enrollment, credit application, targeted marketing, gift card sales and reload, mobile app redemption and reload, charitable donations, customer feedback. We also offer targeted offers. So we try to take advantage of the nice big screen that we have on the 8500, and even on the smaller screen. A lot of people say, hey, we're not used to such a small screen on the 2.5-inch 6200, but what's really nice about it is it's overall the size of an iPhone. We make the most of that space that's available. It's a list of or kind of a showing of some of the logos that we have currently. These are current merchants that are utilizing Luxe solutions. I'm sure you'll recognize some of these. Adam kind of mentioned it before. We are historically marketed towards at tier 1 level merchants, top enterprise merchants, and they do buy direct from us. And a lot of them have fully integrated solutions. So they'll come in and buy thousands of our terminals, deploy them on their systems. What we're finding also a lot of these days is that semi-integrations are really, really popular. Even in the tier 1 space, merchants are finding it a lot easier and a lot more cost effective to run on our certifications And so they'll do semi-integrations so that they don't have to do PCI compliance on their software on their end. The customer interaction can happen, however they want. They can send the prompts to our terminal. The terminal goes, communicates directly with the processor, brings back the decision or the response, and we are, making that transaction completely secure. We do have some plans over the next, probably year or two. You'll see some more top 10, top 100 retailers in the nation added to these logos. So our partners and distributors, I think this is important in describing to you, or at least noting which processors we are certified on. So we are Fiserv, TSYS, Heartland, Chase, and WorldPay here in the US. If you include Canada, we do TD Bank. So TD Bank is all Equinox. So all of their SMB merchants, as well as their mid-level and high-end merchants, are all operating on Equinox devices. As far as some of our other partners, these are some of our gateways and POS providers as well. Just while we're on this topic, I just want to note if some of you guys are agents or ISOs or ISVs, please note that just to save time, the one major processor that we are not certified on is Elevon. We are currently working on that. Probably not going to happen anytime soon, but we are certified on everybody else. So here's the Luxe 8500. This is probably the machine that you've seen out in the wild. You'll see them at Walgreens and Chipotle are kind of, where most people go and see our product and they're like, oh, whoa, this is, definitely different. So this is a wedge-shaped design, and it is more of a horizontal format, form factor, rather than kind of a box or kind of that square that you would see at a lot of merchants. This is an integrated payment device. We have all the bells and whistles, so contactless, all of the major contactless providers, EMV, magnetic stripe, camera technology, multimedia screen. It is a Gorilla Glass screen, 5-inch LCD. Fan security, we are on PCI 6 now, P2P, EMV level 1 and 2, and of course, all the sounds. So all the, I forgot what the term is. I think they called it sonic identification. Anyway, all the Discover, Visa, MasterCard, Amex little chimes that occur. So the 8500 is capable of being stand-mounted or countertop. It was specifically designed to be a countertop solution. So when our CEO, who's our head designer and engineer, set out to build this product, he wanted a product that could just sit there on its own and look pretty. And it'd be, ergonomically better for, the customer. So that's why it's wedge-shaped, so it's easier to view. And all of the buttons are on the right. So the screen allows you to extend your brand's visual impact to the point of payment in brilliant color and vibrant detail. We have a split screen display if you'd like, so you can have your customer information or that the details of the transaction on the right, and you can have an offer on the left. And then the face-mounted card readers eliminate customer confusion and speed up the checkout process. An improved user experience. Large split screen pen or finger touch display greets customers. I will let you know that our screens are designed to operate primarily without a pen. We just found that having a pen is a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit extra. You don't really need it, and they're hard to maintain. The hard keys provide tactile feedback and legends never wear off. That is something special about our terminals. I think a lot of our competitors use the same type of buttons. They're kind of the flat square buttons that are kind of, flush mounted into the device. Ours are high grade plastic, and they're very hard and tactile. What we found with this is that, I mean, we built the terminals to last years and years and years. And we found that this design, the numbers don't wear off. It's impossible for them to wear off because they're built into the actual button. And the material allows them to last longer without degradation. The top face-mounted graphic labeled card readers are easy to locate. The clearance around the 8500 means the merchant does not need to modify existing counter space. Again, can be used with or without a stand. What's also really cool about this, I think we have a couple of merchants that are using this, but this device can actually be flush mounted into a countertop. So you can, basically take a router and carve out that rectangular space and just drop it in. So it'd be completely flush mounted, which is really, really cool when you see it in action. Intuitive contactless reader is beneath the large display, eliminating confusion. Again, I personally hate it when I go and I see a terminal and I'm trying to figure out where that reader is. I'm trying to tap on the center first, and it doesn't work, and I go to the left corner and then the right corner and the bottom, and sometimes it's not even there. Ours is right beneath the screen, so anywhere around the screen will read. Chip card is inserted down and held in place, so the card remains in place and visible, so it's never forgotten. And the cashier can easily view the cardholder's card orientation for both the smart card reader and the magnetic swipe reader. The MSR is bidirectional and ensures a higher success rate with every card swipe. Okay, moving on to the 6200. This is our smaller device. It is a modular device. So the 8500 comes in one flavor. This comes in several different flavors, and we'll kind of get into it here. So again, it is the same inner workings as the 8500. So you're going to have all the same bells and whistles. There is nothing that the 8500 has that the 6200 doesn't have, and vice versa. So when we designed when this was designed, it was meant to be a one size fits all, almost kind of like a Swiss Army knife, right? So the very basic model is the image that you see in the center there. It is about the size of an iPhone. And behind it, there is a kind of a modular area where you can screw and unscrew different components to it. So your very basic version of this would just be that center device with an Ethernet cable module. And that would just stay connected and sit on your counter on a stand, or just on the counter. That same device can also have a battery. So you can have it Wi-Fi and carry it around in the shop. You could also have a printer and Wi-Fi, or you could have different size batteries. We have two size batteries. One's obviously longer lasting than the other for our high volume roaming environments. And we also have LTE on this as well, 5G LTE. So it can be a completely mobile solution. So again, fixed POS. There are a couple of images there. On-premise roaming, that's with the battery, and one's with the battery plus the printer. And of course, in the field, that refers to the SIM card LTE solution. The 6200M fixture on the go. It extends a consistent customer experience at the counter or when roaming. The glass touch display accepts both pen and finger, of course. Again, the same type of hard tactile keys. The size is really, really small. Again, just the size, basically the size of your iPhone. ergonomically designed to efficiently use counter space with or without a stand. The contact list reader, again, is beneath the display, directly underneath it. So tapping anywhere around it will be fine. And again, a bi-directional MSR. And merchant or cashier can easily view the card orientation. As far as cable bundles, cables, etc., we offer all sorts of different varieties. We call this an e-hub. And so basically you'll get one of these hubs, and then of course your choice on whether you want it to be Ethernet or USB. It says dial on here. I don't think we have dial anymore. So let's just forget that that's there. Most merchants we find are generally using the Ethernet switch. Some like the USB. Depending on your merchant, we can accommodate, whomever. So software and technology. This is again, I said that we are a hardware manufacturer, but we are also very, very into our software. We devote a lot of resources in the software that goes into Equinox products. The Luxe OS is standardized across all Luxe products and is engineered for maximum security, ease of use, and seamless integration. Payments applications, third-party software, and POS systems work flawlessly together. Our proprietary OS for secure payment application and PIN pad functions, and our terminals also run on Linux. We find that is the most stable environment. That's also the environment that we find that our enterprise merchants are always looking for. Totally understand that Android is very hot and heavy lately. We do have an Android device coming to market next year, but we are strongly committed to the Linux platform. So I think when we have the Android device, it'll probably be available both in Android and in Linux. The Voyager payment application supports turnkey software delivery, and Voyager is something that I'll go into. That is the payment application that sits on the device for, again, semi-integrated and standalone environments, and that is what is certified on all the major platforms. So for any ISVs that are out there that are listening in, the Luxe SDK, it's a friendly and intuitive web-based app builder, allows developers at all levels to quickly develop, test, and deploy payment and value-add applications. So we do have our own app store. Drag and drop tools to build application HTML5 pages, style sheets that are easy to edit, tools to debug application HTML pages, and the ability to manage secure resources and application files. So security is very big for us. Again, that's part of our dedication and commitment to being on Linux. Security is engineered into every feature of the Luxe devices, from the operating system and internal architecture to point-to-point encryption and remote key injection. So we are EMV level 1 and 2. We're PCI 6, PCI P2PE. And we've also pioneered RKI, remote key injection. I think we were, actually, I know that we are the first manufacturer to go full RKI. This one I won't spend too much time on. It's a little techy even for me. But I do want to, again, reiterate common theme here. Same certified payment application runs on both devices for fixed and mobile use cases. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with, how transactions work and how tokens are given from the processor. So we'll go ahead and move on to that one. Equinox Hub. So this is our estate management system. Hub allows business to easily deploy, organize, manage, and monitor devices across the enterprise. So Hub is the system that you would use to, again, put in your VAR information, deploy a terminal, provision a terminal, manage a terminal, monitor, take offline, whatever you need. That's the system that you would need. Now, DCCSupply will have the super user level on all of their terminals that they send out to you guys, and then they could also provision you with your own sub-user ID to manage your own terminals. Okay, our remote key injection platform. Again, we are the pioneers of this, first to go full RKI. RKI enables safe, secure key injection to Equinox terminals anywhere the terminal is located, whether in lane or in terminal staging area. The proprietary public key infrastructure allows PIN and data encryption keys to be safely and securely distributed. Our RKI provides customers the added convenience of being able to inject multiple keys in a single session and increase flexibility when rotating or adding processor and encryption keys. So what this allows you to do, honestly, is where keys really come to be a factor is, of course, the debit key. So if your customer is running debit transactions, which most of them are, you can remote key inject out in the field, or you can remote key inject while you have it and you're provisioning that terminal. Also, where it really helps out is when your customer, your merchant, decides to switch processors. Hopefully, if they're switching processors, they're staying within a family that you manage, and you're boarding the new account. And when you have a new debit key, you can go ahead and remote key inject. You don't have to take that terminal back physically. So we do have a proof point here. We have one customer who switched processors and used Equinox RKI to inject keys into 78,000 terminals over a weekend without terminal replacement, on-site interaction, or disruption to their regular business. I believe at 78,000 terminals, that must have been Walgreens. I don't know, with ISOs and agents here, can you imagine if that was your customer and they decided to switch? Anyway. Environmental factors. Experience is key when manufacturing devices to withstand harsh conditions of a store checkout. Again, these are enterprise level devices. We test them diligently. We put them all through all sorts of things just to make sure that they can withstand, regular wear and tear that they're going to see in high volume environments. So metallic cards, that was a huge issue when they first started coming out. Metallic ink, they weren't reading correctly, so we made sure that our devices would handle those. Oil from fingerprints or from glue, multiple pressure points on card insertions and key presses, liquids, lighting conditions that can change throughout the day, storms and power surges, and especially cable wear and tear. These are all things that we take into consideration on a daily basis as we deal with our merchants and see, what the feedback is, and we try to always improve. The durability testing is pretty extreme. These are actually pictures of our actual lab in Arizona, and the types of devices that we have employed to test out our devices regularly. And so we just want to make sure that we're putting a top-notch product out there that can, really kind of withstand all the daily use. So this is our last slide. We're a partner that you can trust. Achieve peace of mind, knowing that people of Equinox are always available, willing to go above and beyond for you and your customers. We really mean that. The Equinox Service Center turnaround time is the fastest in the industry. We understand that your success helps us achieve our goals, so we take pride in helping you and your associates with any pre- and post-sales questions, problem solvings, or ideas for improvement. We've built a culture of taking ownership and going above and beyond all of that at every opportunity. I'm going to leave you with one thing too. We went over the terminals, and again, they're all noted as PCI 6. But this is a really nice example of our commitment to our products and to our merchants. When our products were first introduced 4.5 years ago or so, the Luxe family, they're obviously on PCI 5. And with PCI 5, everything was fine, and then PCI 6 came along. Well, our our CEO had the vision of foresight to make sure that not only did we achieve PCI 5, but we went well beyond, above and beyond PCI 5 to set us up for PCI 6 and PCI, different levels, thereafter. So now we're PCI 6, and at the beginning of this year, we finally, got listed on PCI 6 and everything was approved. And so what we found was that because we had achieved such a high level on PCI 5, none of our hardware needed to change. It was just software, a few software changes to get it in compliance with PCI 6. So what do you do? So what we decided was we would make PCI 6 available to our current customers that are on PCI 5 and push it out to them electronically. So they don't have to return the terminal. They can keep it in place. They can keep it running. And we pushed out software updates to bring it up to PCI 6. So now that product that has been, in use on their counter, for a couple of years now, is now good through 2030. I don't believe any of our competitors are doing that or have done that. Generally, it would be an opportunity to sell a new product. But again, we really do stand behind our product. We want to see it in use, and we have invested a lot of resources into making sure that that is a super high quality product that can, withstand some time. So that takes us to the end of the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share here. I'm back on. Oh, we've got a few more people.
I am here, back. We have a question. Do you have anything assisting with defeating of skimming? And have you had any issues with that in your portfolio?
So luckily we have not. That's a really good question. And I follow a few people on YouTube that, they're these guys that go out and they look for skimmers, and it's almost really kind of sad because they go after a lot of low-hanging fruit, and they go after 7-Elevens that are using a particular device. It's a very popular product, I think, out in the field, and they show you how the skimming device works. If you look at the 8500, it'd be very difficult to manufacture a skimming product to float on top of the 8500. That's just the form factor of it. So we haven't ever had a skimming issue. We've never had one of our customers or merchants or whatever report any skimming. So to this point, no. Have we made any conscious effort to defeat skimming devices? Not necessarily, because I think it goes into the original engineering of the device. Yeah, we just haven't had any issues. So
yeah, I'd like to speak to that. Skimming itself, the interesting thing about skimming is the PCI rule for devices is that, I used to have it on my board, the actual number of the rule, but it says that it should be secured for PCI compliance. So secured and tracked, and a tracking methodology. So we've gone through the PCI compliance questionnaire, and we know how long it is, and we just say yes to everything. So super pain. But from a security point, it doesn't say what to do. It just says it should be secure and should be monitored. So you'll see a lot of people doing now, specifically, like I was just recently at Costco or whatnot, they are using through their IT department one-time stick serial code stickers that go on the seams, right? So you put it on the seam of the device, and they then go around, as part of the process, go around to each device and check that number against their database to make sure that that number hasn't been compromised, hasn't been opened. So that is part of the security procedures that every tier 1 company IT should be doing. That is best practices. Again, PCI compliance doesn't say what that practice is. It just says it needs to be secure, which is why when we say, hey, here's a stand, it could be secure. Another method in which to keep it from being pulled out and put back on, it's harder for it to happen that way. That's really the long version of the answer.
Yeah, you'll find those strips, especially on the Costco gas station devices, I've noticed.
Yes, and so that's becoming a people are just they're realizing that that is a big issue. One of the things that we had during COVID was we have the spill covers that we sold a lot of during COVID, and some companies through their PCI group were like, "Hey, you can't put something on my device," and I'm like, "Well, where does it say that?" Well, the PCI group came out and said specifically that you can't enhance the device. And a lot of companies were like, well, we're not putting it on there because we think that we don't know that this little piece of plastic is doing anything. And my reaction was, well, this is actually better because once you have this, they can't put a skimming device on top once you have this. And so we would actually send these out in secure bags from our facility with that double tape on them for some of those vendors. So yeah, it's an interesting for those. We also have the tether locks. Some of these have devices. This particular one has it. Both of your devices have a tether lock on them. This is the tether lock hole. This is the larger one. That hole right there is where a lock goes into. Looks like that, right? Supposing that's the lock. Goes in and keeps the device from being taken out and then put back on. So they do have secure tether locks, and our stand has a tether lock hole, so to keep it covered. There's also, Jimmy, there's also a pin pad shield on this one too, right? Mine doesn't have a pin pad shield. Here's mine with the open. This is the one at Walgreens. There's little holes here for the pin pad shield. I don't have that. I'm assuming you have some kind of shield that goes on there, right?
Yeah, I don't think we've been using that at all.
Okay. All right. So it looks like there's some holes there for it. I haven't seen it yet as well, but I feel that once you have that shield on, it even makes it harder to look at the pin number, because that's really what they're interested in from the pin perspective. So yes. That was the only question they had for you. All right, awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Perfect timing. We originally gave him 2 hours, so 37 minutes is perfect. All right.
Yeah, you guys can all have some time back.
Yeah, awesome. I love when they say that in a meeting. Well, we're going to give you some time back. And I'm like,
Yeah, right.
I really only was giving you.
It was my time
minutes,
anyway.
man.
It was my time to begin with. You're not giving me anything back
Yeah,
today.
exactly. Exactly. So a couple things here. Just from on the Equinox perspective, we have stands for that device. This is the stand that goes on here. This one here goes on here. Swivels and tilts. Swivels and tilts. And then we have one for the 6200. I don't have the 6200 here on me, but this is the spill cover that we designed for just the 6200.
That's
so
right. Yeah. We ordered a few of those from you guys.
So you can see that how big it actually is. This is a 13 Pro Max comparison, so you can see what the size is. And no, I haven't upgraded yet, so 13 is pretty good. All right. So and the tether lock I was talking about this is the tether lock, where it uses this screw hole you see like you have in a laptop, and then we've got a cable that'll to keep it from moving around. So that's my show and tell here for the devices. Got my board here so you know who I am. Woo! So one thing I wanted to show you. So I originally did this because I wanted to present product, let you guys see that are out there that aren't going to shows or are going to shows, and you want to just have a little bit of knowledge of each of the different products, and that's what we've been doing. We're 6 months in now, and so we're super excited about that. We've done a couple sales things at the end here, and today I wanted to show you a 3-minute video that I've seen in the past. I love it, but I wanted to talk to you afterwards out of it. It's kind of cool, inspiring. I'll just let it be what it is, and it kind of speaks for itself. And then, so this is called The Simple Truth. If you can hear it, let me know. You guys can all hear that. Let's see. You hear that horrible music? We're good? Okay. So.
Yes.
Perfect. Can't hear it?
The all-new GoDaddy
Okay.
Arrow helps you get your
Mm.
business online in minutes with the power of AI.
Yeah. All right. So simple, right? I see Brad on here. I see Teresa on here. I think you guys might have been at the Ignite when they first showed that years ago when I first saw it. And I got to tell you, the 212 was kind of cool, you know, and now that we have TikTok, that video is not so cool because we see that kind of thing all the time now. And you know, you can see it was 2004. I think I first saw that, gosh, 12 years or more ago. So, but you know, I used to have a 212 sticker on my on all my wall boards, and I was like, all right, you know, really putting out that extra effort. And over the years, I keep thinking that they're wrong. You know, like 212, yeah, it's a number, it's kind of silly, it's cute, you know, it's a metaphor, I get that. But the other 211, God, the 211 was really the hard part, right? I mean, yeah, 1% extra, yeah, we're going to try a little harder, but I mean, there you go, Brad. The the hard part is the working up to it and getting over the line is ultimately the goal. It's the reward. But the first 211, is really the hard part. And that's what I want to say about that. It's the prize for your hard work. And I guess really, how many projects have we started? How many goals have we started where we didn't finish? You know, and where's the hyper focus on one of those goals? Or maybe you've got 5 goals, and is it better to do 5 goals and not hit any, or one to hyper focus on that one goal for the day or the year or the month or whatever? And that's really the key, is that we talked about at the beginning of the year, having that plan of what's your 10 major goals for the year, having them written down and going through them. And the other point I would talk to about this is, I've done 2 Ironman races, and they say, hey, was it hard? What did you have fun? You know, was it fun? Or first they'll say, how hard was it? And I'll go, it was hard. Yeah, there's no doubt it was hard. But the hardest part was the training. I mean, and it's like you getting up at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning for a long bike ride, multiple days in a row, you know, not drinking, going to bed early, you know, that's the hard part. And then they're like, well, was it fun? And I'm like, yeah, it was a good time, but ultimately the fun was the training, you know, going out on long rides in the morning before work and doing the hard work. That was the hard, that was the piece. Now, I'm not discounting that when you've got 5 miles left, you know, in a race which you've been going for 15 hours, you know, that extra 1%, 1 degree, yeah, it's time to hit that 1 degree, you know, to get there. So, and so that's what I say about the Ironman pieces. It goes the same way for any sales call, you know, any implementation. And I tell people here all the time, my main mantra is, if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. I mean, we've got an encryption room here, you know, we've got tech resources here, and some of those things were really hard to get. And I say, listen, if it was easy, everybody would get it. You know, I know a couple people on here, I can see that they've got specialties that they work on, you know, and the reason that you're a specialist is because once you get that knowledge, it's awesome, right? We tell people it's not, why do I charge 10,000 per hour to move this lever? The old joke. Yeah, it's not the 10,000. It's not that I know, it's that I know which lever to move, right? So, you know, someone says to me, hey, I need a device for a kiosk. I need a device for an unattended system, right? If you don't know, you go to vendor lists from shows or whatever, or you give us a call. We've probably touched them. Maybe we can help you. Hopefully we can help you. If not, we'll pass you on to someone else that'll know the answer. And that's really the key here. And so when you run into an enterprise customer or a medium-sized customer that's looking for a hardened solution, you've got Equinox. That's the answer I'll tell you today. Hardened solution, ready to go. Pricing, let's talk about pricing. Pricing on Equinox, in line with all the other multi-lane devices, regular terminals. You're not gonna get a deal. It's not about a deal. It's about a hardened product that they're gonna stand behind, right? If you want a deal, I have some refurbished VX570s or some Nurit 8320s. I got plenty of those. You're welcome to grab some of those. So actually, I know someone that's still buying ICT 220 and 250s from us because it's for prepaid or gift cards, right? Old legacy gift card systems. So there's always a market for that things. But there are no refurbished Equinox devices because they're hardened and they never show up. It's also in my contract. I can't sell them.
Right.
So that's it. That's all I've got for you. Have a great month, and we'll see you next month with another installment of Lunch and Learn. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you very
everyone.
much, guys.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Great presentation.